In this video, we're going to discuss the 3 things that they typically don't tell you about starting a recruiting or staffing agency. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Natasha, the business recruiter. Welcome back to my channel. So when it comes to starting a recruiting or staffing agency, it's important to understand that there's a lot of people out there that are talking about exactly how easy it is, how seamless it is, and how much income you can actually generate. And while many of those elements may actually be true, it's important that you understand the full picture or the bigger picture in terms of you starting your recruiting or staffing agency, so you're starting it out on the right foot. So diving right into number one of the things that they don't actually tell you is that capital is going to be needed in order to get your business off of the ground. Now, exactly how much capital you're going to need is going to really be contingent on what your goals are. If you're starting a direct placement or a recruiting agency, then you can typically get it off the ground for anywhere from $300 to maybe $500. And most of that capital is going to be spent on you just establishing the legitimacy of your business, meaning filing for your business entity with your state, getting the appropriate insurance, and then ultimately making sure that you're able to secure your website as well as your domain name and a professional email address. That's pretty much it in terms of the starter things that you would need, at least in the beginning stages, in order to get your recruiting agency off the ground. Now, on the staffing agency side, however, it's important to understand that a lot more capital is going to be needed, anywhere from $50,000, maybe even up to $100,000. And part of that reason is because the name of the game in terms of the staffing agency side is going to be numbers or volume, meaning that the more employees that you have and are able to contract out to various clients, the more income you're going to be able to generate. Now, with having employees on your roster, that means that you're going to be responsible for payroll, and payroll is not cheap. The worst thing that you can do is have someone work, and then when it's time to actually pay them, you don't have the funds in order to be able to do it. This is where that capital really comes into play. Not only do you have to have the capital in order to legitimize your business in terms of establishing your business entity, but you also have to have the capital to fund the payroll. Now, while you're probably thinking that, well, your client should be paying on time, so that should be fairly easy, most clients do not actually pay on time, so you want to be cognizant of that. It's important that you have a general rule of thumb of keeping about 2 months worth of payroll available just for that very reason. Now, going into number 2, one of the things that they really don't tell you is that it can take time in order for you to actually get your first official check. And I kind of alluded to this towards the end of number 1 in regards to the fact that clients don't necessarily pay you on time. And when they don't pay you on time, that means that there is a delay in you ultimately getting paid. Now, let's say that you do have a client that is going to pay you on time, or a client that is paying you on time. You have to keep in mind that that is going to be a process within itself. Not only do you have to get the client, but you also have to be able to fill the requisition. And contingent on what type of requisition you're filling, that could be anywhere from 30 days to maybe even 90 days plus, contingent on what that search is going to be like. And you're actually not going to get paid until that search is executed on and completed. So with that being stated, it's important that you understand that you're not going to necessarily get your first official paycheck for a little bit of time. Now, that's not to say that you won't get it. It'll just take probably a little bit longer than what experts out there are alluding to. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, then be sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button as well as that bell so that you can get notified of all of my videos that do drop weekly. Number 3 is that the barriers to entry are going to be pretty low when it actually comes to starting a recruiting or staffing agency, meaning that anyone who has the determination, skill set, or will to do it can actually go about doing it. Now, ultimately, what this means is that there's going to be increased competition in regards to the recruiting industry. And that's okay, because there's still ways for you to be able to stand out even in the midst of there being a lot of recruiting agencies or staffing agencies that have already been established. One of the ways that you can go about standing out is ensuring that you are really communicating what your value proposition is. How are you going to go about solving your client's pain point? And what is that specific process or mechanism going to look like? It's important that you're able to communicate the value that you bring to the table, because ultimately this is what's going to help to set you aside from all of the rest of the competition that's out there. Now, this list is not at at all exhaustive of all of the things that are probably not mentioned in regards to starting a recruiting or staffing agency, but these are 3 of the top things. Again, it's not necessarily hard in order to do this, but it is going to take some determination as well as some consistency in order for you to yield the level of success that you're seeking. Well, I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you did, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, as well as if you are not in my Facebook group, then I encourage you to join because we are still in there talking all things recruiting. I'll be sure to leave that link down below in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.